We all know about cancer and common cancers. So endometrial cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Yeah.
These 5 cancers, people who drink coffee have a lower cancer mortality from these. So 5 cancers: cirrhosis of the liver, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's dementia, the early stage of Alzheimer's called cognitive decline, low risk in coffee drinkers, low risk of type 2 diabetes. Here both decaf and regular coffee work. And if you drink 4 to 6 cups, there's a 40 to 54% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. And if one already has type 2 diabetes and they drink 2 cups, regular or decaf, there's a 30% reduction in cardiovascular mortality.
Beyond wine, we really care about health. The health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions. Your natural wines are found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. My name is Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today it is the show where pounds are shed. That's today. Weight loss. Disease is dead, and of course your body will get healthier as you lose weight, and you can be set free from the frustration of this fact that, it's difficult to lose weight. Hey, look, we have roughly 3 weeks left till the end of this year. And I'm going to put out a bold statement. You could be 10 or even 15 pounds lighter by the end of this year. You don't have to wait until your New Year's resolution to pull off weight loss. Yet so many people right now are excusing away. Oh, it's the holidays, Dr. Ernst. You don't understand. I have this party and that party and this event and that event. Look, I get it. This is the time of stress and worry and anxiety, and I'm telling you, that is packing on the pounds. It's not just the foods you're eating, it's the idea that weight loss is actually a hormone issue, more so than it is a food issue, more so than it is how much you're working out, etc. And what I want to talk to you today about is the most important type of fat to burn, and it's the abdominal, visceral belly fat. It's the one you want gone, but you just can't seem to make leave. And there's a difference we have to talk about between types of fat. Did you know one fat is more dangerous than the other? Did you know one fat leaves really easy? It's the 10 pounds that you'll burn off and you're like, yes, with diet and exercise. But it's the 20, 30, 40 pounds of fat called visceral or belly or abdominal fat that's more complicated for the average person to get rid of. So today's show, we're going to set you free. I'm going to encourage you to join me on a journey for the next 3 to 4 weeks so we can get into the first week of the new year and be thinner and happier and healthier, etc. Hey, this is the big one, guys. My Turn On Your Fat Burning Switch 4-week challenge guide is yours free, and I've done all the work for you. And when I say all the work, I mean all the work. Look at this. Shopping lists for both week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Watch this. Recipe lists for both week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Laid out, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And all the recipes and the supportive guides that you need to do this the right way, turning on your fat burning switch. Hey, if you want to grab this now, let's get excited, right? 704-906-2094. Text. Let's see, what's a good phrase for this? Weight loss. Text the word weight loss with your name and email right now to 704-906-2094. The ebook is yours for free. And guys, this is a little different than my previous ebooks. This one is chock full of recipes. It has the entire 4 weeks laid out, meal plans, grocery lists, shopping guides, and recipes. And it has an intro to tell you how fat loss is not an equation of how much you're eating and how much are you working out. What it is instead is, are your hormones working on your behalf? Because get this, there's a hormone that makes you feel hungry. It's called ghrelin. Easy to remember because when you're hungry, your stomach growls, right? So ghrelin is a hormone that makes you hungry. Cortisol, as we all know, right? It's a huge hormone, but it makes you store fat. Instead of burning fat, it makes you store it. So if your cortisol levels are high, you could do every diet you want, you could do all the workouts you want, and you won't lose weight. That's a big one. Leptin. This is a huge one. Not that many people talk about leptin. It's a hormone that should make you burn fat. But like diabetes, many of us become leptin resistant. We have so much leptin floating around in our body that our cells have stopped using it. And so what we need to do is learn how to lower our leptin levels, lower our cortisol levels, lower our ghrelin levels, and start boosting our fat-burning hormones. And so we're going to help you with that today. And again, everything that you need is inside the ebook guide, plus the 4 weeks, guys. This is the best part of downloading this. Hey, look, all the recipes for you for 4 weeks, all of the layouts week to week, what's breakfast, what's lunch, what's dinner, and shopping lists that go in conjunction with that. If you implement this now, you're going to see changes to your weight over the next 3 weeks by the end of this year. And as you start January week 1, you could be 10 or 15 pounds down. Again, text the word weight loss with your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook is yours free. And again, listen, I know how January goes, right? New Year's, new resolutions. I want. Usually it's weight loss and energy. Hey, maybe some of you are saying, this is the year I finally want to kick that medication to the curb or start a more natural, holistic program. Saturday, the 13th of January. I know it's like 5 or 6 weeks away from today, but early bird registration starts now. Last January, we had 700 plus people on our masterclass on a new year, new you, total body makeover. We're talking from head to toe, holistically, burning fat, anti-aging, regeneration, fixing joint issues, helping your body to not only feel great, but burn fat as a side effect. Anyone who grabs our 4-week challenge. You will be invited to that event on the 13th. So here we go. Okay, so here's the challenge. Most people think that there's just fat in their body, and they're not really necessarily delineating between the difference of fat under your skin versus fat in your organs. So this is a simple graph that I pulled. By the way, both of these people are the same height, yet they're both wildly different in their weight. So you can't say, oh, I've got big bones and Dr. Ernst, it's my genetics. Okay, be careful behind this. They've actually disproven this. Now watch. The amount of fat that's under our skin is called subcutaneous fat. The amount of fat, though, around our organs, like around our heart and around our liver and in our intestines and around our kidneys, is called visceral fat. And that kind of fat is so much more dangerous because it's inside your body. Now, here's what's crazy, guys. Could you be thin on the outside but have a lot of fat on the inside? Yes. Or could you be fat on the outside and have not a lot of fat on the inside? Yes. So technically, there's all these different subtypes. And the greatest way you can find out what kind of fat you need is by getting what's called a bioimpedance test. It's a special scale. They're about, $15 on Amazon. Typically, we call them smart scales. But here's the thing. The smart scales will have an app connected to it, and you can hop on, and it'll go, and then your app will show you how much subcutaneous fat do you have, how much visceral fat do you have. I think you guys, this is wildly important to know. Now, most people say, Dr. Ernst, look, I just hear too much. It's in my stomach, and I'm doing all the abs. I'm doing everything right. The sit-ups, the crunches, the jumping jacks. I'm at the gym sweating like crazy, and I'm not losing my belly. Okay, that's an indication of visceral fat buildup. And what's most important about this is you've got to understand visceral fat's by far 15, 20, 30 times more dangerous than subcutaneous fat. If you have fat wrapped around your liver or your intestines or your kidneys, it is, number one, interfering with the function of those organs. And this is the problem. Number two, visceral fat actually acts like an organ. The fat itself is secreting hormones and secreting cytokines. What we've now recently learned, and this is going to shock you, is that if you have a lot of visceral fat, it secretes leptin, the hormone that's supposed to tell your brain burn fat, but it's secreting it at such a high rate that it burns out the receptors in your brain, and your brain says, I just don't want to burn fat. So you actually neurologically tell your body, don't burn fat. Some people think it's somewhat of I'll call it an attackish method, where the fat itself, acting like an organ, is saying, I don't want to be gotten rid of, so I'm going to secrete hormones that makes the brain lose the ability to burn fat. We also know that visceral fats secrete what are called inflammatory cytokines. It's just a fancy term, guys, to say a chemical that comes off the fat that makes you inflamed. And here's the big challenge. Inflammation is a root cause of almost every disease you can think of. If your joints ache, if your back hurts, if you've got headaches on a repetitious cycle, if you're diagnosed with any kind of condition and you're taking a medication for it, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, palpitations, arrhythmias, those are all heart-related issues, insulin, diabetes, rheumatism, arthritis, okay, asthma, we can just keep going. All of them are connected with inflammation. So the fat itself is secreting hormones and cytokines to keep it inside of you. So you have to think of it as like, I don't want to say this, but maybe I will, like an infection. You're infected with fat, and we've got to break the cycle down and get your body burning that stuff. And there's a simple way to do it. And it's broken into two categories. Hopefully this makes sense. Number one, you got to figure out where it's coming from. Why is your body storing so much fat? Because it should not be. By innate design, fat gives us a tremendous amount of energy. We need some stored fats, but not a lot, but we need some. And so your body knows, don't store fat. Burn it for energy. It knows how to do this. But if you are stuck in what's called a non-fat burning state, where your metabolism has shifted, where your hormones have shifted, where your in a state of storage instead of burning. Well, now what happens is your brain's physically confused. Your organs are saying, save all of this. And it's almost as if you're in a hibernation mode where you're preparing for some sort of long-term called famine, if you will, right? Like, I'm going to have to sleep for 2 months straight and I'm not going to eat, so I'm going to have to burn all the fat I stored. But most of us aren't hibernating, right? So instead what happens is we're going, God, I'm doing everything I can and I can't get this weight off. So here's why. You've got to understand where it comes from. And I'm going to throw this up because it's an infographic that I just, pulled off the internet, and it's fabulous, I think. It's the fact that we really, truly need to hone in on, are we feeding ourselves food that encourage fat burning, or are we feeding ourselves food that encourages fat storage? I'd like to call it crap. If you're eating crap, then you're going to store fat. And what is it? It's an acronym, guys. C, carbonated beverages. R, refined sugars. A, artificial foods. P, processed foods. So the combination of the crap you eat is making your body store fat more than burn fat. So let's discuss this, all right? Processed foods in and of themselves. I'm starting with a P and working my way back. The challenge with this, and I'm sure you guys know this, right? They contain more chemicals than food itself, and often they're loaded with a inflammatory nature of ingredients. Number one being processed seed and vegetable oils. I don't care what you say, you pick up any boxed or packaged foods, and I can pretty much guarantee you're going to see canola, corn, soy, these oils that are very inflammatory. Multiple studies have linked to the fact that if you eat foods that are high in inflammatory fats, this is vegetable oils and seed oils, or has a level of artificial ingredients, it will lead to the accumulation of fat inside of your body. Listen to this. The Journal of American Medical Association, just a couple years ago, 2021, found that most Americans, on average, are eating about 67% of their diet in what would be classified as an ultra-processed food group, meaning it's not real food. It's in a box. It was in a bag. It was made for you in advance. Even, unfortunately, the to-go foods and restaurant foods, it's such an easy thing for them to use these inflammatory oils because they're cheap and they handle the heat and they don't cost them very much, which means the food cost goes down, which means you're happy. But then right here, ready? Vegetable oils and seed oils will cause an inflammatory process in your body that makes you store fat. So we've got to stop eating the P of the craps, okay? The A falls in with it in of itself. If it's an artificial food, you might say, well, how do I know if it's an artificial food? Hopefully that makes easy sense, right? If you can't pronounce the ingredient, it's fake. We have to look at these things and say, did it come in nature in that method, or was it produced for us? All right, I'm going to go off the deep end here, okay? All this kind of like substitute meats, the beyond this and the impossible that, guys, those are fake. But Dr. Ernst, they're made from plants and plants are real. Well, sure, but take a look at the ingredients and how they're processing them, the various oils that they use and the additives and the binders, okay? Am I advocating that you have to eat meat? No, but just focus on healthy plants and focus on clean animals if that's the route you're going to go. We have to look at it too like this. Most abdominal fat is a reaction to the amount of cortisol floating around in your blood. What we know is this: when you're stressed out, your cortisol levels go up. It's a natural response from your adrenal glands. But now watch this. Cortisol makes your insulin levels go up because blood sugar elevates with a cortisol reaction. So the more cortisol you have in your blood, the higher your blood sugars. The higher your blood sugars, the higher your insulin. And here's the challenge. Insulin is not just a hormone that says burn sugar. It's also a hormone that says store fat. Again, remember, guys, this is about hormones more than it is about how hard you're working at the gym. It's about, is your body getting a signal to say store fat? Almost all of you are sending the signals to your brain: store fat, store fat, store fat. You want it to be the signal that says burn fat, but you're doing it the wrong way. You can't send a signal to your brain to say burn fat when you're on a treadmill running for hours on the end or doing workouts that actually don't make you lose weight. Low intensity, long duration workouts, the classics, right? On the bike, on the treadmill, the 6-mile run, they elevate cortisol in your body, which causes your blood sugars to go up, which causes your insulin to rise. And then your brain says, all right, I'm going to store fat and I'm not going to burn it. This is why sedentary living is such a big deal today. I know I've done shows in the past about this, but the average person is sitting for 8 hours while they're working, sitting for an hour or two while they're driving to and from and around, the whatever. They sit and watch TV. They sit for dinner. They're sitting down or sleeping. So like the 75 to 80% of our day is in a sedentary state. We are designed to move. And I'm not talking about like you have to go for a run. Just move. Get up and walk around. Move. This is why this concept of like tracking your steps is an important thing. And you want to shoot for 12,000, 15,000 steps on a daily basis. Just the sheer fact of moving can boost your body's ability to burn fat. Listen to this one. This is a huge problem. Our social network, you've probably heard it say that you are the sum total of the 4 or 5 people that are around you. But you know what's interesting about this? There are studies in various journals, the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, the Journal of Nature, that show if the people you hang around with are overweight, your likelihood of being overweight increases by a certain percentage. I thought this was fascinating. If your friends are overweight, you have a 57% likelihood that you're also going to be overweight. If it's a family member, a brother, a sister, etc., a 40% chance of being overweight. Watch this, guys. If your spouse is overweight, it's a 37% chance you're going to be overweight. And I think it's unfortunate because we tend to do what other people do. So we eat the foods our friends eat. We hang out with our family often. And all it takes is one person to make a change, and you can influence that group. But often it's sometimes tough. So usually they'll say, hey, look. And hopefully this makes sense. If you want to lose weight, hang out with people that are in the weight category that you want to be in and adopt their healthy patterns. And often what you'll see is it does that. Okay, so I want to shift some gears. I've got a couple minutes left in this segment and then an entire second half. And again, do 2 things. Number 1, I want you to download this ebook, all right? Why? It has an entire 4-week guide that myself and our patients have been using, and we implement this, and I've seen people lose 7, 10, 15, 20 pounds in just 4 weeks. Everything you need is in here. The shopping lists of the foods you want to pick. And I'm going to talk in just a moment about fat-burning foods. These are the foods that when you eat them, they burn fat. Number 2, it has the entire meal plan laid out for you. What is breakfast? So we've done your menu, all of it. Look, here's an example. Week 4, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and dessert for all 7 days. Then what you'll see is week 3 and week 2 and week 1. Everything you need, the recipes, the shopping list, your diet laid out for the next month is free for you now. Text the word weight loss with your name and email to 704-906-2094. The key is weight loss. That's your phrase. The email and the name is what we need so we can send it to you. And the text line is open, 704-906-2094. Again, the number, in case you need it, 704-906-2094. For those of you watching our live stream, above or below this video is a link, and you click it. It'll take you to a page that'll send you the ebook, and it's going to register you for my beginning of the new year masterclass. I'm going to call it a total body makeover from head to toe, where weight loss is the side effect of you getting your health back, where weight loss is the, I'll call it, result of you shifting your mindset into the pattern of, hey, burn fat instead of store fat. And it's a hormone challenge that you must understand. Ghrelin is a hormone that makes you hungry. It's what growls. So I'm going to come back after this commercial break and show you the foods that shut off that hunger signal. So it will help you to eat less, but we also want to just avoid the crap foods, right? We want to eat way less of this and focus on the foods that burn fat. And then remember, we've got to avoid those metabolism killers, the vegetable and the seed oils, and the foods that bring stress to our body. What are they again? Carbonated beverages, refined sugars, artificial foods, and processed foods. These spike cortisol, which spikes insulin, which makes your body store fat. Dr. Ernst, I thought insulin was a diabetic issue, and I don't have diabetes, so why do we need to pay attention to this? No, insulin is a hormone all of us have. If you have lots of insulin, you're storing body fat. Doesn't necessarily mean you have diabetes yet, but hopefully you know this. Body fat accumulation around the stomach is a version of metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome precurses diabetes. So we often find people that are diabetic have a very difficult time losing weight because they have a ton of visceral fat. Way different than subcutaneous, guys. Visceral fat is what's in your organs, not under your skin, and we want to get that stuff out. So stick around as our commercial break kicks in, and take a moment right now. Text your name, your email, and the word weight loss to 704-906-2094. The 4-week guide is yours. Don't go away. This is the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind. How can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Hi, my name is Gary Greenfield with Greenfield Water Solutions, and I want to introduce you to our newest product, the MR500. It's a whole house structured water filter system. It's set up in an all stainless steel multi-round filter housing. It features inlet and outlet for the water, a bleeder valve for when you're changing out the filters to reduce pressure, and to remove the top for access to the filters, we simply open up the clamp, remove the top, and this plate here holds all the filters in place. Simple to remove. It comes out, and you can see what we have on the inside here. It's 5 Aquamedics filters and a vortexing tube and a harmonizer. That's the whole system. This is designed to filter 5 gallons per minute And all of the contaminants that it does remove are listed on the website, which is a very broad array of contaminants. These are the highest rated filters that I know of on the market that are filter cartridges. They can be changed out yearly. And of course, the process is very simple. You won't have to hire a plumber to do a change out. And the filters are available from Greenfield Water Solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can read about it on the product page or give us a call. Thanks for watching. That's it for now from Greenfield Water Solutions.
To bring you the best natural wine the world has to offer, we've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer two main options: a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There's a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you, so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Here's the challenge, guys. Today, we are talking about burning fat fast and how so many of us struggle to lose weight, especially during the holidays, and the fact that it's only 3 weeks away till the end of the year, and many of you are going to excuse away the idea, I don't have enough time, it's only 3 weeks, like, is it really worth it? Shouldn't I just wait till January? But I'm here to tell you, if you implement what I'm teaching you today and over the next few weeks, you could lose 7, 10, 15, even 20 pounds by the end of this year. And within the first week of January, you could be a couple sizes down. There's a couple ways you can do that. Number one, download my Fat Burning Switch ebook. Inside this ebook is a 4-week done-for-you meal plan, 4-week done-for-you shopping list, 4-week supported nutrient recipes that burn fat. Everything I'm going to teach you today is broken down step by step for you to do inside this ebook. Think of it as a guide, a 4-week plan to turn on your fat burning switch. You can grab this right now by texting your name, your email, and the word weight loss to 704-906-2094. During the commercial break, we had about 30-something people text in saying, I want the ebook, I want the ebook, I want the ebook. So remember, to make it super easy for my team, say weight loss and your name and your email, and they'll send it over to you. Sending over the word weight loss and pushing send, you guys are going to get a response saying, we need your name and email. It takes time. Then we have to coordinate. So save us the time and let's get this directly into your hands. Your name, your email, the word weight loss to this number, 704-906-2094. So at the top of the hour, I mentioned that there's 2 types of fat. And what you want to do is just lose weight, but you have to know which type of fat are we going after. There's visceral fat, which is inside your organs, around your heart, in your liver, around your intestines. And then there's what's called subcutaneous fat, the fat that's underneath your skin. Between the 2 of these, which one is more dangerous? Hopefully you say visceral. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the research is connecting the dots that visceral fat is very dangerous for organic function. It can affect cardiovascular health, leading to elevations in blood pressure, shifts in your cholesterol, atherosclerotic plaquing, a lot of the conditions most of us are fearful for, but many of us aren't recognizing that it's the fat inside our body that's causing that. Why? Well, fat is also visceral fat is technically an organ by definition because it secretes its own hormones. And what it's trying to do is stay in you. So the inflammatory cytokines that it secretes promote fat storage. The hormones that it secretes, leptin being one, tells your brain, don't burn me when it's in a high resistant state. So what we need to do is sort of hijack this response, get your body to switch into a fat burning state, and you'll see your visceral fats burn down. What I talked about was this concept that we are, unfortunately, according to the research, as a culture eating crap. C, carbonated beverages. R, refined sugars. A, artificial foods. P, processed foods. Look, a lot of people think there's nothing wrong with that carbonated drink, right? And we drink it with sometimes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. But these beverages are extremely high, not only just in sugar, but in acids that promote inflammation. I want to read you just a list of some things that I found, okay? These are the top foods that will destroy the ability for your body to burn fat that you think are healthy substitutes to the, hey, well, if I'm not going to drink my carbonated beverages, why don't I have beverages that are also sweetened or fruit juices, okay? Contrary to popular belief, if you're thinking that drinking like orange juice or apple juice or grape juice is a healthy thing to do, think again. Most of the time, these things are loaded with sugars. And I want you just to think of it this way. 1 glass of orange juice is probably the juice about 5 or 6 oranges. So would you be able to sit down in one sitting and eat all of those with no problems? No, but you can drink easily 5 juiced oranges without even batting an eye. And the amount of sugar found in the juices is extremely high. Here's something you might not realize. 1 8-ounce glass of fruit juice can contain up to 30 grams of sugar, whereas most soda carbonated beverages have 28 to 30 grams of sugar. So while you might be thinking, oh, it's not carbonated, it's from fruits, it's healthy, from your body's perspective of do I store fat or burn fat, it's a store fat beverage. Juice isn't the only thing you should avoid. Watch out for drinking your calories during the holidays. Alcoholic beverages and mixes, these sort of special holiday drinks, the coffees that are loaded with sugars. You guys know what I'm talking about. Energy drinks. Be careful. If we start sipping on our carbohydrates, we might think we're doing something healthy, but instead we're sabotaging. So what do I like doing? Listen, water is the best beverage you can drink. They've actually proven that water helps you to burn fat, decrease your appetite, decrease your inflammation, flush out toxins, rehydrate joint tissues, and just like how a drooping plant that looks like it's about to die will be fully revived when you water it, your body does the same thing. If you're looking for something to enhance yourself with some flavor that's not water, try reaching out into the second water category of coconut water. It's nature's natural sports drink. It has some natural sugars in it, but it's loaded with electrolytes and other components that help you to break your cravings so we can drink water or coconut water as opposed to carbonated beverages or fruit juices. Here's a big one that a lot of us have to pay attention to. Whole grains that we think are healthy, they're not, all right? Refined grains, especially things that we find in things like the pastas and the cereals and the crackers and the cookies. I know what you're thinking, like, okay, Dr. Ernst, I'm not going to eat the sugary ones, but what about like the whole wheat bread and the crackers and the this and that? Okay, you got to be really careful. Grains will stimulate a sugar response equal to or that greater of actual sugar itself. So there have been some studies on this. They've given people maybe a gram or two of just white table sugar directly in their mouth, measured their blood sugar rise. Does it go up? Yes. Then they took the similar group and they said, not sugar, but 2 pieces of toast from a wheat bread. So they just ate 2 pieces of toast. Guess what? The sugar spike was higher in the toast than it was in the sugar itself. So when we think we're being okay, it might seem like these whole grains like wheat, and you might say, well, look, I picked a wheat wrap instead of a white bread wrap, so it must be healthier. Careful. Most of the time, the studies show there's more sugar and inflammation connected with consuming grains than anything else. When consumed in excess, these refined grains actually cause sugar spikes and rhythmic changes, and it's also the fact that gluten, which is of course found in grains, is an irritant to the intestines, and it can cause you to begin developing a leaky gut. Research shows that grains are also high in something called phytic acid. Really important you understand this. Phytic acid is an anti-nutrient. It literally robs your body of the essential minerals and the vitamins that you need for healthy metabolism. Phytic acid prevents you from absorbing foods, and phytic acid is found in a lot of whole grains, even things like beans and legumes. So we got to be really careful. What you might think is a healthy food may be sabotaging your body, making it store fat. One of the best things you can do is going grainless. Let's get into the categories of using flours that are outside of the wheat category. Coconut, almond, cassava, etc. There's an entire group of flours that aren't from grains that you can use to make various food products. Here's a big one, and I talked briefly about this, but you must understand canola and processed vegetable oils are not a healthy alternative to the high-fat saturated things that you've been told, right? So canola, safflower, sunflower, vegetable oils. Well, you might think that they are healthy, but here's the challenge. They're extremely high in the omega-6 fatty acid, which promotes inflammation, physically will stress your organs out, causing a cortisol spike. And now here comes the cascade. Cortisol goes up, blood sugar goes up, insulin goes up. Insulin tells your brain to store fat. So while you might think of them as being a less fat, healthier substitute, be careful, they trick your metabolism. So what we want to do instead is, I know it's going to sound nuts, use the fats that you probably thought were dangerous and destructive, but in a healthy method. Butter that is grass-fed actually turns your body's ability to burn fat on. It's high in a product called conjugated linoleic acid, which supports the ability for your body to burn fat. Whereas margarine and the other seed oils are extremely low in conjugated linoleic acid, and they are found to have other fatty acids that actually make you store fat. Keep in mind that coconut oil can also do the same thing. And a lot of people are a little fearful of coconut oil because they will say, it's going to raise my cholesterol, right? Well, what the studies show is it elevates your HDLs, can help to lower your LDLs. So if your HDL levels go up, that's a subset of cholesterol. So your cholesterol total might rise, but it's an improvement in the ratio itself. Coconut oil is also antifungal, antibacterial, and antiparasitic, so it's a great way to help clean out your organs while supporting a healthy fat-burning process. Canola, on the other hand, unfortunately, is extremely high in alpha just lost that fat for a second. In ALA, it is a polyunsaturated fat that is very inflammatory to the body. In fact, ALA has been shown to increase cardiovascular inflammation. It spikes an insulin cortisol response. And though you've been told canola oils and corn oils and seed oils are the healthy, heart-healthy substitutes, be careful. The research is out showing not so much the case. Listen to this. A large percentage of canola oil is genetically modified, which means it's heavily sprayed with pesticides. And certain studies are showing that the oils themselves have pesticide residues inside of them. This is why we want to go with grass-fed butter, coconut oil, avocado oils, even olive oils. Because here's the unique thing about olive oil. A recent study in the journal Metabolites found that extra virgin olive oil can help to reduce inflammation, turn on a fat-burning state by lowering cortisol and engaging in a burning stage of fats within your mitochondria. Here's the thing. Fat has to be burned, and where it's burned is in this part of your cell called a mitochondria. And in order for it to get into the cell, you need to have a non-inflamed cell tissue. What olive oil does is it decreases the inflammation of the cell itself. So the membrane that wraps around and protects your cell, if it's inflamed, you can't get the fat you want to burn inside the cell. So when you use anti-inflammatory oils like olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, you decrease the inflammation at the cellular level, and then your fat that you need to burn gets into the mitochondria and is turned on. Look, did you know that apple cider vinegar has been shown and studied to engage a burning fat state within your body? It's high in acetic acid, which does several things. Number one, it stimulates your digestive enzymes, which helps you to break down your fats, your proteins, and carbs into smaller molecules. The smaller they are, the easier they are to absorb, which means they get through the intestines and into your blood and can be distributed as nutrient-rich food for your body. It also decreases the glycemic index load. Listen to this. A European journal in clinical nutrition studied that if you take 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and mix it in about 3 to 4 ounces of water and drink it before you eat, it reduces the sugar load on your body by 36%. Now, that doesn't mean that you get to go out and eat the crap foods and just do your apple cider vinegar shot before. It means as you switch to a healthy whole food diet, start incorporating the olive oils, the grass-fed butters, the conjugated linoleic acid that engages an anti-inflammatory fat-burning state. Start using the apple cider vinegars with your healthy fats and proteins to get your body to metabolize them quicker and reduce the glycemic load. In 2015, slightly old study, but Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry published a study showing that apple cider vinegar helps to turn on fatty acid oxidation and supports the fat burning process. Think of it almost as like a subtle fuel that you can pour onto your body to let your body burn fat. There's an herb that's called a bitter herb. And these would be things like when you eat them, they create sort of a bite reaction within your mouth. I'll give you an example. Arugula would be classified as a bitter herb. It's slightly spicy, has a bitter taste to it. Artichokes, parsley, cilantro, dandelion, even radishes, because of the bite, these food groups have been shown to induce a state of visceral fat burning. In this journal, Phytotherapy Research, they discovered that these arugula-based and cilantro, parsley, dandelion, radish-based food groups engaged a process of reducing inflammation in the mitochondria, allowing for fat to be burned at a faster rate than when people did not incorporate them. Another category of a bitter herb is ginger. We know ginger has a soothing effect to your digestive system, but a study that was done in the journal Nutrients showed it reduces your glycemic load. It reduces the rate at which you store fat. It encourages proper digestion, and it helps your body to stay full. So if we take ginger, shave it down into like a paste, add a little water to it, Put a splash of apple cider vinegar in there. What you guys are doing is you're making almost a fat-burning detox beverage. Think of it as like a tonic. Drink this before you eat your foods, and your body will start to engage a fat-burning process better. Here's something I want to discuss as to why is it so hard for us to get rid of the fat. Okay, we've learned we've got to stop eating the crap foods, carbonated beverages, refined sugars, artificial foods, and processed foods. Replace them with the healthier, more metabolic fat-burning food. And if you're going, I'm just tuning in, where do I get the list for this? The Turn On Your Fat Burning Switch ebook is yours for free. You guys can hear people texting already, right? Send the word weight loss with your name and email to 704-906-2094. You'll get the ebook for free. It has 80 different recipes that are loaded with your fat burning foods. It has a 4-week guide that breaks down breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all meal planned out for you 100%. It has your shopping list, which will show you, hey, for week 3, go get these foods because here's your menu plan. Everything you need already laid out for you. Let's turn on your fat burning switch and end this year strong and also lighter. 7, 10, 15 pounds can be done if you do it the hormone way. So again, text your name and your email along with the word weight loss to 704-906-2094. Hey, I want to chat right now about a concept of adding what's called metabolism boosters. These are the top foods that can be added into your diet that will, again, help you to burn fat fast. The first is cayenne pepper. It has an active ingredient called capsaicin, which is very unique. A British Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that capsaicin will induce what's called AMPK. It is an enzyme that will help your body to break down fat. What we often find is people's AMPK pathways are somewhat blunted or interfered with. So the enzyme itself doesn't activate the body's ability to burn fat. Capsaicin turns on your AMPK enzyme. It also has been shown to reduce the glycemic load of food, similar to that of ginger and your bitter herbs and your apple cider vinegar. Matcha green tea, there are several studies showing that what it does is it improves fatty acid oxidation. I want you to think of it as the way you burn fats. There are several key phytonutrients in green tea which are anti-inflammatory, so they reduce the stress response of burning fat, but they activate, again, the enzymes that say burn fat. You might have heard of this type of a seaweed. It's called wakame. It's a Japanese seaweed. You can get it in most grocery stores and health food stores. Multiple studies show that if you increase your consumption of this wakame seaweed, it promotes fat burning within the fat cells themselves. So remember how we said visceral fat hangs around your organs and it starts to secrete hormones that say, keep me in you. And so if we start using the wakame, you can force these cells to start burning their own fats for energy. It also has been shown, this specific seaweed, to reduce blood pressure and cholesterol, which is a key indicator of your metabolism state. If you're in a high burning fat state, your cholesterol tends to be low, triglycerides are low, blood pressure is low because we're burning fat for energy. And if we're in a fat storage state, we tend to see an elevation in each of those. So as a global summary, what do we have here? We have 2 types of fat that stick around into our body. Most of you want both of them gone, but the one we need to pay attention to more than anything else is called visceral fat. It's the organs that wrap around our body. Where does visceral fat come from? It comes from the fact that we are eating foods that encourage fat storage instead of fat burning. Carbonated beverages, a big one. Refined sugars, a big one. Artificial foods and or boxed processed foods that encourage a process of inflammation and cortisol response, which then spikes your insulin, and insulin tells your brain, store fat. Can the stress levels of us lead to this? Yes. Can our sedentary lifestyle hold us back from this? Yes. Is there a way for you to break out of it though? Yes. Recognize this, number 1. Weight loss is not an equation. It's not less calories in, more calories out, and you lose weight. It's been tried and it's been disproven over and over again. It's not about how long you spend at the gym. Hey, if you're doing your workouts right, you should be gaining muscle mass, which means you gain weight. If you want to lose weight, engage your hormones. Take a moment right now as our show ends and text the word weight loss to 704-906-2094. My fat burning switch, turn on your fat burning switch ebook is yours free. All of the information you need from today, plus a 4-week meal plan, shopping list, guide, and recipe pack. If you follow it to the T, you're going to lose weight. Your body's going to thank you for this. Hey, thanks for tuning in for today's show and broadcast of the Ask Dr. Ernst. We're going to be here every Saturday for the next few weeks as we wrap this year out, encouraging fat burning and for you to get your health back. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, be blessed.